Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my review of When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace, Episode 4. Now, have I mentioned that I love melodrama? Because I really love melodrama, and I'm probably the only person in the world who still does. And this episode had a lot of it, so it's an automatic win for me, okay? Seriously, I really loved this episode, okay? Now, the main thing about this episode was, what's her name, like Chiaifu or something like, or Chuifu or something like that. That basically that middle schooler who's always hanging out with these high schoolers, okay? She has a bit of a dilemma in this episode. There's people such as her best friend and her best friend's sister, who happens to be their teacher, who thinks it's really weird for middle schoolers to hang out with high schoolers. Personally, I don't see any issue with it. When I was in middle school, I used to always hang out with high schoolers. I really don't see any issue with it, but apparently they did, and her best friend wanted her to, her best friend in middle school basically, wanted her to stop hanging out with them, and obviously it's all resolved in the end. She doesn't have to stop hanging out with them. It'd be kind of a bummer if she did, because I actually really love her character, okay? And her best friend's main dilemma is that she just was afraid that Churifu was just basically just going to forget about her eventually, because she even tried to quit she even started skipping classes in middle school so she could study really hard and skip grades so that she could so that she could basically go to their high school real quick. And there's even this funny joke at the end where she says basically, in 4 years I'll be in 8th grade, so I'll be the same in the same grade as Ando, because he's going to be an 8th grader forever. And I'm like, oh shit. And unlike most of their jokes on him, Ando really doesn't take that offensively. He actually just plays along with it, which I think is like the first time he's ever played along with a joke like that. So it was actually really funny. But I really enjoyed this episode, okay? It had I don't know why, but I just love melodrama. I always have, and I still do, and I probably always will. Okay, as long as it's well written. I really think this is well written. Now, obviously, so far the series has mainly been meant to parody other series like this. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure if this is really going to have. So I'm guessing it's probably kind of like Outbreak Company was last year in a way, where, yeah, it did have a lot of cliche moments like this, but the only reason it did it was to parody things similar to it, okay? And I think it did very well, and this is another series like that I also think, at least so far, is doing it very well. So if you have yet to see this week's episode, also I think the animation was actually the best in this episode so far too. It wasn't great, but still, I thought it was a definite improvement, okay? So if you have yet to see this week's episode of When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace, I definitely recommend that you do. I think it's a really good series, and I really enjoyed this episode. So anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.